I see a lot of new riders making the same mistakes over and over again. And whether it's because you were told by someone else, taught by someone else, or you learned on your own, a lot of these mistakes, they end up causing you to crash more often, more easily, and you can get hurt. And that's why I want to tell you what they are, what these mistakes are, why people make them, as well as how to correct them. But before I get going, I want to give you a free practical guide on the basic techniques to learn how to ride with confidence and control. It goes through step by step the essential techniques to stay balanced, stay in control, riding corners and hills and trails. It's mainly trail riding, but it's at motocrosshideout.com/free lessons. It's in the description too. But the first big mistake that new riders make that cause you to get hurt is starting on the wrong dirt bike. And I covered this a little bit in my free training yesterday. And so many new riders, they choose the wrong bike to start on. And what this means is the wrong bike. I consider the wrong bike is one that's too tall and one that's too powerful. And why they do this is maybe it's not because they knew what was right or wrong. They were told by a friend. I've seen comments like on Facebook where people told me that they were recommended like a YZ250 two-stroke. Yeah, start on this. It's a 250. It's not that big of a deal, but then it ended up being way too powerful for them to control. And they tell me they're having a hard time keeping the front wheel on the ground. The tires spinning out all the time. They can't control the clutch easily, so they're just frustrated because they started on too powerful of a bike. Or maybe you got a really good deal on a bike, whether it's 450 or a 300cc two-stroke. Just starting on one that's too powerful makes it harder to learn how to ride because you're trying to tame the power of the bike rather than focusing on the proper techniques and learn to control the clutch, the throttle, staying balanced on the bike. And the next mistake that people make is riding at an area, a location that's too difficult for you. So maybe you don't have a place to ride close by. So you either go to some challenging trails or the motocross track, and you just try riding areas that are too challenging for you. You get nervous easily because you can't control the bike over jumps or whoops, or the trails are just too tight and you're just getting nervous and intimidated because you haven't properly understood how to use the bike and stay in control on flat ground. So it's going to be a lot harder learning to ride on trails or a track that you're not comfortable with. Or maybe you're riding on some easy enough trails and you want to keep up with your friends. I know for me, I get competitive often, so I want to be able to keep up with my friends. And a lot of them are faster than me, especially when I was still learning to properly ride. So trying to keep up with them, it's really easy to get out of control really quickly because you're trying to twist the throttle to keep up, but you don't have the skill and technique to be able to keep the bike under control for your skill level. So that's why it's easy to ride into a tree or off a ledge or loop out or whatnot because you're trying to keep up with someone that's much more skilled than you. So what you want to do is start out in an open field where it's flat ground. You can focus on learning the proper controls and techniques, and you don't have to worry about any other riders, any other objects to hit, whether it's cars or trees, and you can just focus on yourself and you don't have to worry about crashing into anything. And if you don't have an open field to ride with, maybe you live in the city or you just don't know anyone, one of the best things to do is make more friends that have riding areas. And how you can do that is join a local riding club. And there's plenty of people, especially if it's just an off-road riding club. It's usually very family friendly. They're always wanting new people to join. And I'm sure you can find someone there. Or if it's like a Facebook group, there's plenty of dirt biking Facebook groups where you can meet a lot of new cool people and tell them that you're looking for a place to ride, and maybe you have to pay to get in. But yeah, there's in most places where you live, you'll be able to find someone. Just look for group and make some friends, be nice, and just be respectful. And then the third mistake that beginners make that cause you to crash is learning proper technique. And a lot of riders, they learn how to control the clutch and throttle and stay on the bike, or so they think. And learning just good enough is not good enough if you want to become better, ride faster, and stay in control. Because a lot of riders, they think that they're in control, and then they just try challenging trails or going faster, but they didn't learn all the proper techniques to stay balanced and get proper traction. So then that gets them in trouble because whether it's riding uphills or downhills, they don't know how to position themselves on the bike. And this causes you to get off balance or use more energy. And using more energy, you get tired out quicker. And if you're going on a long ride and you're tired out, it's hard to hang on to the handlebars. It's hard to squeeze the front brake, pulling the clutch. You end up stalling it more easily. You can't slow down for a corner because your arms are pumped up, they're tired, and then that causes you to ride more tense and even more out of control, which leads to more crashes. So if you learn the proper techniques and body positions to stay balanced on the bike, you're a lot less likely to get out of control and crash and get hurt. And that's why I made a free, simple guide that goes through the 12 basic techniques of riding off-road with confidence and control. It goes for body position from your feet all the way to your head, as well as where to look, how to use your hands, and just all the simple techniques that are essential to riding fast or slow with control. And you can go to motocrosshideout.com/free lessons, or the link is in the description below. So if you're struggling to ride, or if you're brand new, what's the most challenging thing for you right now? I'd like to know in the comments below. And yeah, I look forward to helping you become a better, safer rider. This is Kelly from Motocross Hideout. Learn more, ride more.